When you picture an ancient Greek statue, what do you see? Chances are you're imagining smooth white marble. But that's not how these sculptures originally looked. Ancient Greeks actually painted their temples, statues, and everyday objects in vivid colors, a practice known as polychromy. Hi, I'm Dr. Smiti Nathan, and I'm an archaeologist. In this video, we're going to explore an artifact that shows what colors could have meant to people in ancient Greece. Imagine yourself at the Acropolis in Athens in 1886. This is when archaeologists unearthed a striking statue now known as the Peplos Kore. The statue's name reflects early assumptions about its subject. Peplos refers to a kind of dress, and Kore means young woman. The Peplos Kore dates to around 530 BCE, which was during the Archaic period in ancient Greece. Today, the statue lives in the Acropolis Museum in Athens, Greece. At the time of its discovery, faint traces of pigment were still visible on the face, hair, and especially the dress. But a lot of the colors had faded, so researchers had to piece together what the statue might have looked like from these remnants. In the 1970s, Robert Cook and M.B. Lehrman offered this colorful interpretation of the Peplos Kore. The version was based on three things: the colors that were still visible at the time, watercolor drawings of the sculpture a year after it was excavated, and a desire to challenge perceptions that classical sculptures were always white. Starting in the 1980s, scholars Vinzenz, Brinkmann, and Ulrike Koch-Brinkmann carried out studies to reconstruct various classical sculptures based on scientific imaging methods, including the Peplos Kore. These imaging techniques not only revealed new information about pigments, but also stylistic patterns in the statue. Based on these methods, they produced two reconstructions of the Peplos Kore, variant B and variant C. The findings informing these versions led some scholars to reconsider their interpretation of the sculpture. Instead of being a young girl or woman wearing a peplos, some scholars think this is a sculpture of a Greek goddess, possibly Artemis or Athena, wearing an ependite, which is a dress marking a high status. In fact, there are other possible indications that the Peplos Kore could be a goddess. For example, the sculpture's left hand was carved from a separate piece of marble and fastened with a notch, perhaps to hold something sizable. The right hand's fingers indicate she might have held something with them too. Some scholars think that this could be a depiction of Artemis holding a bow in her left hand and arrows in her right. While the identity of the Peplos Kore is still debated, this work remains important. It highlights not only the array of colors that were used in the past, but how these colors might impact the identity of a sculpture. We actually have a video linked below on the forgotten colors of famous sculptures in case you want to learn more about this object and others. This video is part of our Artifact of the Day series, where we take a quick look at one intriguing object from the past. If you're interested in watching another Artifact of the Day video, check out the video here.